guys, in this video we will be styling the login page, okay? So before that, let's actually move this out of the body, okay, and put it down here, okay. Whoops. Okay, now we want to add a div, okay, that says class that has an ID of, and we're using ID so that we can use it later in jQuery and so on. So ID equals, let's say, login area, okay? So that's the login area. We're creating the login page. And by the way, the login page and the chat page are gonna be on the same page, okay? So, but we're gonna be hiding the login page once and displaying the other and the otherwise, and vice versa, okay? So in this div, we're gonna actually create another div, okay, that says ID equals login text, okay? And in this login text, we're gonna say h1 and says login page, okay? Okay. Now underneath that, we're gonna say another. We're gonna make another div and says ID equals form, not form, login form area, okay? And in here we're gonna create a form, okay, and it has an ID of form or login form, and in here let's create an input of type text which holds and without no name, and the placeholder is going to be username, okay, and what else, autocomplete is going to be off, okay, because it's the username, and what else, okay, and another input of type submit with no name at all, and the value equals to login, okay. So let's check this out. Div ID equals login area, okay, and another div, let's space this out, another div that says login text, okay, and the text says login page, and another div, okay, that says login form area, and then inside it a form that says login form, and inside it the components, okay. So let's run the server and see how it looks. Node server.js. Let's run the server. Let's go ahead and open that, okay. There you can see. Now let's create a style file or a .css file so that we can style these forms and these divs in our way. So let's create a folder here called styles, and inside the styles folder let's create a file that says index.css, okay. Let's open that, and let's say HTML height equals 100% and width equals 100%, and the margin of it is going to be 0 and padding is going to be 0. So we're setting the height of the HTML to be full and the width of the HTML to be full, so that we can, you know, manipulate things as we want and adjust things as we want. So we're going to do the same thing to the body, okay, in case this didn't have effects on the body elements, okay. Now we're going to be editing the login area, okay. So the login minus area, what is it going to say? It's going to say, let's actually give it a width of 500 pixels and a height of 300 pixels, and a border 1 pixel solid and transparent. Alright, so that's one, and we're actually gonna margin it to be auto, 0 auto, and then we're gonna margin top. Let's make it 150 pixels for the top. Let's see here, but well, it didn't work. Why? Let's open the developer tool by clicking inspect, or by clicking F12 and open the console. Wait. Oh, wait, hold up. We didn't actually oh my god, we didn't link it in here, okay? So let's actually say the link has to be styled index.css. We're gonna see another problem, of course, because refuse to apply style from this because it's a mon type, okay, is not supported style sheet mon type, and strict checking is enabled. Okay, let's go to styles index.css and let's see what does it give us. Do you see? It says cannot get styles index.css, okay? And this page here is not, or this text here is not a style sheet text, or it is not text minus slash CSS. This is not CSS. So of course the page is going to throw an error and says, hey, this text here is not CSS. So what are you implying? Okay, and this happens of course because in the server.js we didn't allow it to go to that place. So we're going to allow it now, styles index.css, okay? And it's going to give us CSS, and here styles as well. And let's go and check it out now. Let's turn the server off and reopen it. Let's close this. Let's reopen it, node server. Open the page. You can see that the CSS tiles actually are applied on it. See? Okay. But it's actually a little bit messed up because, oh, whoops. Why did we specify the border to be? Okay. So now it's right here. It's right here. You might say, why does it have this space in here? Why do we have to scroll? Let me give you a hint. Well, in CSS, there's something called margin collapse, okay? So that the margin of this element, of this div, collapses with the margin of the body, okay? So we're gonna set a border minus top pixel solid and transparent to this body element, so that when this div, which is the first child of the body, when this first child margins top, its margin is not gonna collapse with the body margin. So when you click, you can see that it's no longer scrolling, but it has like a little bit of a scrolling. Why? Let me give you one. Let me explain why. Because we set here, we set border minus top 1 pixel. So we added 1 pixel on top of the page, okay? So basically we're scrolling right here 1 pixel. We're just scrolling 1 pixel. And in order to avoid that, let's just say overflow hidden. You're gonna see that it's removed, okay? And with the 1 pixel is still there, but the scroll bar is removed. Okay, now let's handle this. And in here, let's say login text, login minus area, login text. Let's say text align. First, let's say width is 100%, So we want it to be from here to here. Okay, and to check, let's say background minus color equals red, and it's exactly what we wanted. Okay, now let's remove that and replace it with text align center, so that the login page centers to the middle. Okay, so now we're done with that. Let's actually say here font minus family Verdana. So yeah, it looks like more neater than the Arial font. Okay, now let's edit. What else do we have? We edited that, and it's in the middle of the page. Now we want to edit this. Okay, and okay, all right. Now let's say login area, and what is it called? Login form area. Login form area. Let's say margin, or let's say for width 100%. Let's say background to make sure equals red. So it's like that. Okay, that's really cool. Now let's say, does text align work on it? Let's check it out. It does actually. Okay, so it's actually pretty good. We use text align on this to center the elements in here. Okay, so what do we have here? We want to edit this and to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and we as well as this. Okay, let's go ahead and check that. What are they? Login form. Okay, let's copy that, paste it here. Well, you're not supposed to do that, but I like to do it myself just to know the sequence of the child and so on, you know. So login form. Let me recall, you don't have to put each element inside each element, but I'm doing this just to follow the sequence. Okay, so I'm doing this as a preference, and it's not a must. I login form. Okay, and then let's say, what is the ID? Okay, let's say ID equals username, and here ID equals login submit. Okay, username and login submit. Username, and the height of the text of this text has to be like something like 50 pixels, and width has to be something like 300. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it looks good, to be honest. Let's add a little bit of padding. Let's say let's say 5 pixels and 0 pixels. Okay, so it looks like, oh my god, I messed up here. 0 pixels and 5 pixels. That's what we want. Exactly like that. Now we want the font to be larger. Let's say font size equals 26 pixels. Okay, it's larger right now, and we have to, yeah, we will. Let's margin this div here, okay, which is the login form area, from this div. Login form area. Okay, there it is. Margin top. Let's say, or you know what? Let's margin them all. No. Let's margin each one separately. So let's margin that by 100 pixels here. Let's give it, let's give it 70 pixels here. You know what? 50 to be honest, because we're gonna margin this as well. So margin top. Let's say 30 pixels. Let's say 50 pixels, and here. So yeah, that looks better, right? Let's give it 70 pixels. That looks better, okay? And let's make this gap closer. 40. Okay, that's better. That's a lot better. Let's copy this and paste it here and say login submit, and the height has to be, no, it doesn't have to be. The font size has to be 26 pixels. So let's see. Alright. And the background minus color has to be transparent, so it looks more neat. And the border, we're gonna use the border size to be 1 pixel and solid and black, of course, so it looks like that. We're gonna add a padding. No, we're not gonna add a padding. Let's add a height to it. Let's say 50 pixels. How does it look? Okay, 50 pixels is good. But with padding, let's add, let's add 2 pixels as well. So it looks exactly like that. Okay, that's really good. And the width has to be 50 as well. No, it doesn't look good. Let's make it 60. Whoops, it doesn't work. 100. Okay, now it looks really good. But wait, when you hover on the button, it doesn't give you the pointer cursor. Okay, let's actually add that by cursor pointer. And there you go. Now let's add another thing here. Whoops, that says hover. When you hover on the button, let's say the color has to be, what is the color? Okay, has to be white, and the background color has to be black. Okay, so it looks like this. Okay, and the username, when you type whatever you want. Okay, and the login page, when you reduce it, it stays the same things. Okay, so that's the login page, and when you click on the login, it looks pretty good and pretty neat. You see? Oh wait, the outline here, we don't need that outline. Okay, so let's go ahead to the username and say outline. Hold up, let me explain. Do you see this blue outline? Well, it looks like Windows 98, right? Let's remove that by saying outline equals none, and outline f offset equals 0. When you click on it, it has no outline at all. Well, let's do the same thing to the button. So when you click on it, it doesn't have any outline, and there you go. So, okay, so that's the login page. We have designed and styled the login page of the chat system that we're going to make, and stay tuned to the next level of styling, which is the main thing, which is the chat styling. That's it for today's lesson, and thanks for watching.